Hey there, today's video is going to be about George Rekers and Jo-vanni, or Giovanni, I'm not sure which, Roman. In other words, the anti-gay activist and the 20-year-old prostitute he picked up to take with him to Europe. Now, the George Rekers was a founding member of the Family Research Council, which, and he was a paid expert, let's put quote marks around that, for to explain why gay shouldn't adopt in Florida, and it was a bad idea, and they were terrible, and they'd be horrible parents because they were gay. The surprising part isn't that he turned out to be gay himself. The surprising part is that he did absolutely almost nothing to hide it. I mean, he picked up a young man who advertised on rentboy.com. This is not stealthy. Another thing is, the only parts that bothered me or surprised me a little bit, well, this didn't surprise me at all. The Family Research Council has disowned him and called him fallen, which is basically, we wash our hands of him, fuck that forgiveness shit. It doesn't count in this case. It's basically the equivalent of The Godfather, where he says, I have no son. And so he's on his own. Rekers can't look to any help for all these people he's been working for the past 30 years to prevent gay people from having rights. He's forget it. He won't get any help at all. The real tragedy to me is the young man who has been apparently trying to put himself through college by selling, by hustling. And his pictures have been put on Queerty. He's put himself out to the media and spoken against him, which is very good for him. Apparently one of his friends told him it was a good idea because this guy was awful. And he's also basically had to do it out of self-defense, because Rekers had no problem selling him out and saying that he did find this young man on rentboy.com. And there is a good chance he will be kicked out of school. Because a lot of schools will do this. If they catch you even with nude pictures, they will kick you out of school. Now, it is so hard to pay for your education these days. If they think he's the only kid out there who's, if they think he's the only rent boy at that school, they got another thing coming. Or, the girls too. I'm sure plenty of people at that college are paying for it any way they can. So that bothers me, that they would use that against him. And yeah, I know it's illegal, but I don't think it should be illegal. I don't understand why prostitution is illegal. I don't think it's a good job. I think it'd be a lousy job. I work with the public, and there's no way I'm going to be that good of a public. That takes skills I don't have, and I don't mean, well, we won't get into that sentence. But Queerty put 40 pictures of the young kid that they got from his MySpace and Facebook. Which, hey, they were up there. They weren't locked. There was nothing wrong. They were publicly available, but they did say, and this bothered me, that this kid, it's like gave away his right to privacy when he advertised his hourly rate on the internet. No, just because you're a prostitute as a job doesn't mean you have no right to privacy ever at any time in your life. So, but the weird thing, it's very hard for me not to sympathize with Giovanni Roman. He seems really likable in interviews, and you're like, he's 20 years old, Rekers is 61. There is a recorded interview where the kid goes apeshit on George, and it's like, why did you say that I was with you? Why didn't you just deny it? And Rekers is like, hey, I've done this a lot of times. He's like, well, I haven't. I'm 20. So I guess we can just Rekers could just add another notch to his belt, because what does it matter? The kid's gay. He's not really gay. George probably doesn't think of himself as gay. He thinks of himself as sinning. So what the hell? He's helped to destroy the lives of thousands of gay people one way or another. What's another one? Another one bites the dust, right? Giovanni, I hope you didn't, or Giovanni, I'm sorry if I'm getting your name wrong. Please forgive me. Don't let this fucker get you down, and get revenge any way you can. Keep speaking to the media. Be okay, kid. See you around.